Morning everybody, my name is Crystal. Welcome to my YouTube channel. Yeah, obviously nothing's changed. Barclays Bank is supposed to be rushing my card out by courier tomorrow, so I can't go anywhere or do anything. My electricity meter's probably dropped to under £4 at the moment. I can't go out anywhere. I just made a trip outside to walk my dog, and coming back a car reversed almost into me, which I'm not sure if it's come out on the previous video, but I did have the camera on when this car almost came into me, and they knew I was behind them because obviously they've got wing mirrors and they can see. So if I just get intimidated going out of my flat just walking my dog, then you can see what happens to me when I travel further afield and go near a main road, right? So I'm stuck indoors waiting for my bank card. I can't order anything. I wanted to order my shopping for tomorrow, so I've got no shopping being delivered tomorrow. I usually order a delivery every 2 weeks so that I don't have to go outside and put up with what I'm putting up with. I've got options to transfer to another council and get out of Medway, which my son did. He did that. He got out. He spent a lot of time without even a home, and he is now living in London. Medway is a nasty area. It's full of drugs, and he had trouble, and he was able to move out. Excuse my dog, he's going to get in front of the camera in a minute. So he was able to move out. He was getting harassment, my son was, and he moved out. Unfortunately for me, I haven't got the finances to move out by myself, and my son is in very tiny accommodation at the moment, so I can't stay with him. So basically I can only keep bidding on properties around Medway to get out of here, because it's becoming unbearable for me to live where I'm living. It's happened before I was on social media. So in Gloucestershire, I suffered this abuse when I was married up in Gloucestershire. I was with my husband. I had a baby boy. There was no social media in 1995 and 96. There was no social media whatsoever, because people are going to turn around and say, oh, it's your social media, it's your TikTok. It isn't. This harassment to myself and my family has gone on since I've ever known. And I lived in Gloucestershire with my ex-husband, and I was harassed, right? So someone is deliberately doing this to me and my family, deliberately, even before the internet. So I have to explain that. One instance of the abuse and harassment was I had 2 small boys. I was married, I'm now divorced, so I had 2 small boys, and the one boy was at school, and my other little boy was about 3 or 4, and I was taking my little boy on the bus to town. So I said goodbye to my husband, who was at home, and I went to wait at the bus stop in Gloucestershire. I've had harassment by bus drivers as well, way back to 1995. Bus drivers. My brother-in-law was a bus driver. I don't know where this abuse and harassment is coming from, but I'm trying to figure it out, and it's nothing to do with the media and the internet, because it happened before I even had a YouTube account, right? So I was leaving my council house with my little baby boy. I went to the bus stop and I noticed some youths with a football. And they shouted at me, "You slag! Can you move down to the next bus stop?" I went, "I'm not moving to the next bus stop." I said, "He's a little boy, he's on his tiny feet, and I'm waiting for the bus." "Move," they said, "or I'll kick his head in with the football." Now, I was a young mum back then with a small baby, right? My husband was at home in the house. So what do? There weren't fucking mobile phones back then. There wasn't mobiles. You couldn't phone on a mobile and call the police. 5 or 6 youths telling me to fucking move to the next bus stop. So I said, "No, I'm not moving." And they went to kick the football at my little boy's head, trying to stop me coming out of the house and going to the shops. Why? Why? This was 30 years ago. Why? Went back home, got my husband out, and they started mouthing off at my husband. 5 of them started mouthing off at him. And he went, "Jen," because I was Genestra. He went, "Jen, there's nothing I can do. They look at them. They don't fucking care. They don't care." First of all, he didn't believe me. He thought I was like making it up. And then they started swearing and mouthing off at him. You see what you're dealing with? Do you see what we're dealing with? You call the police out, they don't do anything. Even when I was married, they didn't do anything. That's one instance of this happening, what is happening fucking now, without social media accounts, without TikTok, without YouTube. So who the fuck is doing this? Who's doing it? Another incident. And it's a stuck-up posh person, right? It's got to be. Another incident. I was walking my border collie. This was back in Gloucestershire as well. Past the rugby club. On a field. Similar to one that's on Rochester, yeah? Similar. And this bloke comes out of the rugby club. "What are you doing?" But 2 or 3 minutes onto that field, I'm picked on by a bloke. "What are you doing on here?" I said, "I'm walking my dog." "Your dog ain't allowed to shit on here." I said, "He hasn't had a shit yet." I goes, "It's a public area." He went, "You better not let your dog shit on our field." I said, "Do you own it?" "No." I said, "Well, what are you worried for then?" And he continued to harass me. Man in about his 50s back then, and I was 20. I was 20. 20, 21. And he comes out and he goes, "Get off our field." I went, "I'm not getting off this field." I said, "It's a public field. My dog is doing nothing to you. What is the matter with you?" No. I went, "Right." I said, "I'm a married woman." I goes, "I'm going to get my husband and you can tell him what you've just said to me." And he fucked off back into the rugby club. He fucked off. Before mobile phones, before social media. Stuck up, look. Not good enough to walk on a fucking field. That's 2 incidents of harassment in Gloucestershire to myself. Right? My husband was a victim of it as well. What is wrong with them? I'm not good enough to stand on the pavement. I'm not good enough to go on the field. There are witnesses. So they're all going to come unstuck, right? There are witnesses that are still alive. My brother's dead, my sister's dead, my dad's dead, but they're still witnesses to this abuse. You can't keep disappearing, people disappearing and dying. Can you? So it's not social media. Everywhere I'm housed, whether it be me and my husband experienced harassment from the neighbour upstairs in Gloucestershire. He was called John, and he kept trying to chat me up in the garden whilst I was a married woman. And he said to my husband, I've been in jail for GBH. Well, that's nothing to be proud of, is it? So I went to the council and I got out of that council accommodation because of neighbour harassment. And apparently my dad said, you're going through what Amanda went through. And I said, what do you mean? He said her neighbours kept harassing her, throwing rubbish at her, taking the piss out of her on a mobility scooter. That's what my own dad told me. So what the fuck is it? It's nothing to do with social media. Nothing at all to do with social media. So I know this, that every time I go out of that flat door, there's theatrics going on. I know, and it's a stuck-up cunt with his nose up his own arse. And my shit ain't good enough, right? So their shit smells better than mine, does it? Do they perfume their own shite? This is ridiculous. I was watching an episode of a few videos of Auschwitz and the torture they inflicted on the Jews. And one of the things they did was to humiliate the Jews before they were murdered. Humiliate them. And one of the things that the Germans did was, whenever a Jew walked past them, they would get a tissue and stick their nose in the air, because Jews apparently stank. You see what's going on? The Germans, whenever they saw a Jew, poo, stink. Do you see? I don't take any notice of it. They're fucking going to get caught on camera and everyone's going to see their behaviour, because I have had enough of this. Torture to me and my family, or whoever's with me, is mocked because they're, what, next to me? What for? Why? I've just gone out this morning and they're at it again, listening into my flat, listening to what's on. I will prove it to you. I promise you that I will try and prove it to you, that they are listening into my flat and in the bathroom and the bedroom as well. I will try and prove it to my best ability. And it's been going on since I've ever known, including my father abusing me at Victoria Road, and then going out to the shops after he'd sexually assaulted me, and the staff in Tesco's, as it was in Chatham, pretending I was Jennifer, my mother, and covering up what my father was doing to me. And the staff in Tesco's Chatham knew who Jennifer was, because her and my dad used that Tesco's on a regular basis before I came down from Gloucestershire in 2008. Right? They're getting scared and they're getting aggressive. And they can't touch me or threaten me with sexual violence or anything, because I'll ring 999. Went outside this morning. I obviously feeling a bit shit because I'm waiting for my bank card from Barclays. Supposed to be coming by courier tomorrow, and it better had as well. Goes on to the field with my dog. All I saw was a woman in a Prince King Charles camel-coloured coat in front of me. King Charles always wears a camel-coloured coat in the winter. So it looked like a funny version of King Charles, a woman wearing his coat. She went in front of me off the field, and I noticed 3 men of about 5'5", 6" on a bench, like nanny goats laughing. And the black one comes towards me in his fluorescent yellow waistcoat, and I cross straight off over to Costa's. Any women that feels afraid that they're going to get sexually assaulted, right, go to a shop. Go straight into a shop, even if you're with a dog. And that's what I was going to do. Go into Costa Coffee with Max. Right? This black guy starts walking over to me. I cross over, go towards Costa's. Right? I don't trust my mum at all, and I think she's involved in it. These taxis that I've been getting up there and putting myself in danger. I don't know who these drivers are. Anyway, I comes back into my flat, comes back round the corner of the opposite flats, and this blue car comes out of nowhere, tries to reverse backwards while I'm behind the car. And it knows I'm there. The car knows I'm there because it's come round and seen me walking. So it knew the person driving that blue car knew I was behind it. Trying to intimidate and frighten. And my mum said, I've rang my mum up this afternoon. Oh, are you going anywhere today? What? Who are you going to tell where I'm going? Greasy blokes. Who are you telling where I'm going? Where are you going? What are you doing? None of your business. She said to me, I've sent some money into the post this morning, because you told me yesterday you needed it for Thursday. I didn't say that. I said, have you been down the YouTube channel? She went, no, I haven't got access to a mobile phone or the television. Don't believe her. I don't believe my own mother. I don't. I said, you know what Dad did to me, don't you? She went, yes, enough of that. She went, enough of that. Don't talk about that. We've all had enough of that, Genestra. That's what she said. And when I went to tell her about how I thought my bedroom was being bugged, she started making out I was her. Oh, bugs. Yeah, ladybirds and spiders. She's not stupid, you know, and neither am I. See you later.